So, long story short, I'm having this resurgence of bonsai interest. And when I first started taking care of my plants, bonsai was entirely the point. Yeah, I was using it as a spiritual tool. Yeah, I was trying to grow things as a mirror for my relationships. It wasn't even necessarily with that intention, it's just kind of what happened. But the point was always to bonsai, and back then it felt like an exercise in patience because you can't do anything the first couple of years. The first 2 years, you're supposed to just let them grow. You're supposed to just let them be whatever they want to be for the first 2 years. And then once they're established, once they have developed root systems and they're branching and they have decent foliage, then you're supposed to start shaping them and pruning away what doesn't serve. And my poor little plants haven't made it that far yet. It's been like 2 years. And the holly's close. The holly has already got a pretty radial root system. It's already in a shallower dish. And it's doing a lot of the branching work that's necessary. It has full foliage. And I think next year I could probably start wiring it if it needs it. I'm gonna let it finish growing this year. And then that'll be, I think that'll be 2 years on the holly because I started that one right before I moved. It was a little bit before I moved, I think. So that'll be 2 years. The oak is probably closer to 3 years. I started it before this journey. From a million acorns. And it was the only survivor. But it has gone through so much hardship. It just got ripped to shreds last year. And it is just now starting to make its new foliage. I don't know how much growth it's actually going to get because every time it gets to a certain level, it gets cut back and something happens. But that's how Spirit wanted it. And that's what we're supposed to accept right now, I think, that if it's not time to start shaping it, if it's not time to start pruning, then we're not going to do that yet. If it needs 3 or 4 years before it's ready to start bonsaiing, then that's what's going to happen. But that one is not going to be ready by next year. Almost definitely not. And the willow. I have not been able to decide whether I want to make a cutting, start a cutting of the willow, and grow it as a bonsai, which means it'll have to sit there for 2 years. Or if I'm going to take this very developed willow that is super tall, like 4 feet tall, and cut it back to the point where it's bonsaiable. It has a pretty solid root structure. Like, whoever did this, they chopped off a significant portion of an older tree and it started growing from there. So for the willow, I need to strategize, but I do have options. I was watching a bunch of videos today on willows specifically and how you can kind of convert them into bonsai. And I saw some that have a similar trunk shape to mine. And they ended up looking really good. But there's always this awkward period where you have to refoliate and things are looking pretty out of proportion. And I think if I do keep this willow as the bonsai, it's going to take some drastic chops. But that's an option. Not yet, though. I need to let it finish establishing where it is. It needs to finish growing into this pot. It needs to make sure its root system is good. I want to see if it gets any cool branches or lower buds. I'm going to let it establish for the rest of the season. And you know, I saw for the first time kiwi bonsais. Apparently that's a thing. People actually grow fruits on them. Like they make these miniature kiwi trees, and then they actually grow fruit. It's so fucking cool. But you know, we got to see what happens with the kiwis. I would love to make them into bonsais, though. How cool would that be? Especially if I do have two little kiwis, then I could make this shape where they spiral around each other and then turn into one trunk. I feel like that would be a pretty cool idea. But let's not plan too far ahead. I think the point of this, though, was that I ordered another cherry tree, another Kwanzan cherry, and crazily enough, I thought it was going to be like a 3-day thing, but it's not going to be here. This one should have roots, so it should theoretically live, but it should be here on July 2nd when my fast ends. It's like as soon as the fast is over, I get my tree. And you know, maybe that's the reward. A tree that I've always wanted that might actually make it. But I've seen a ton of really cool cherry bonsais. Cherry blossom bonsais. And I was thinking about this leaf I found today. There was this red oak leaf that I found inside of the maple pot. And I looked around and I could not, for the life of me, find a red oak anywhere. I couldn't find one. I don't think that there's a red oak nearby. We've got maples, we've got pines, we've got all sorts of shit, but we don't have any red oaks around here. But there was this leaf. And I ended up like Googling red oak saplings because I was like, maybe I'll get one, you know? I don't want to spend 3 months germinating another acorn just for a squirrel to dig it up. I'd rather just have a sapling. And I couldn't really find a red oak that wasn't part of a batch. Like they sell red oaks in the 50s. You know, they'll sell you 50 saplings at a time, or 3 saplings at a time, or 10. But I guess most of the people that buy red oaks are looking to like plant a bunch of them, which would be really good for my nonprofit stuff later on. I can buy a bunch of saplings pretty cheap, and I didn't know that. But I ended up finding these, they call them Bloodgood. I think it was Bloodgood. Bloodgood red maples, like Japanese maples. That's always been on my hit list for trees too. My wish list, I mean. And I ended up ordering one of those. That one should get here pretty quick. So, we've got some gardening in our future here. And I'm definitely skipping yoga tonight. I should have done it this morning. If I'd known I was going to be this tired this early, I would have done it this morning. But, oh my God. I'm wiped out, man. Wiped out. If you're tired today, get some rest. It's alright to do that. But yeah, I don't know why I've got this fascination again with bonsai, like the part of bonsai that I haven't been able to do, because knowing that next year I will be able to start wiring, I will be able to start pruning, I will be able to start shaping and creating the bonsais that will actually be something I can be proud of. It won't just be plants surviving anymore. We are this close to such a big transition, and that's got to be symbolic here. Entering a new phase where you're no longer just surviving, you are thriving. You are shaping your life with intention. I think that's the method. That's the message